Now, I just want to let you all know I am completely caught up on Game of Thrones. Now, my review of the Season 6 finale will be up this Sunday. But before I get on to that, fuck you, Ramsay!
I am a queen, not a butcher.
Alright guys, so Game of Thrones Season 5 is the 5th season of the fantasy drama series on HBO. Once again, we follow the houses that we know. Now, just like the previous 4 season reviews, guys, I'm not going to go over the entire plot. And not only because it would take too long, but personally for me, I feel like this season was not as good as Season 4 was. Honestly, I feel like this was Season 1 as one of the weaker seasons, but it is still a damn good season nonetheless. I mean, Season 4 was flat out almost perfect. Like, I loved Season 4 to death. Now, just like the previous 4 season reviews, spoiler warning, if you have not seen Season 5 yet, go back and watch it, or always go and catch up to this point, and there's a lot of catching up to do at this point. But if you just do not care, welcome anyways. Now, just like the previous 4 season reviews, guys, I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of what I liked and what I didn't like about Game of Thrones Season 5. So, without further ado, let's talk about some Game of Thrones Season 5 spoilers. Now, honestly, when it came to Game of Thrones Season 5, there were a few characters that I think had the most depth, which were Daenerys Targaryen, Sansa Stark, Arya Stark, and finally, Jorah Mormont. And actually, if I can add a 5th one, Tyrion. Now, I say Tyrion because if you remember in Season 4, Tyrion kills his father Tywin, and he gets shipped off to another place. One of the guys, I can't remember who his name was, but he was telling him, we need to get you to Daenerys Targaryen. Tyrion Daenerys might just be the best team up right here. Tyrion goes off in this one little place, and he gets captured by Jorah. And I think that's, I know I'm mispronouncing his name and I'm so sorry, but this guy was such a badass this season. But basically, Jorah kidnaps him, and they're thinking that he's just taking him to Khaleesi. Then Tyrion's like, nope, I'm just going at the same place, you're just helping me get there. Thank you. But there's this one scene that I remember so distinctly, and that was when Jorah and Tyrion are in this boat, and they're going across this canal, and you see something go into the water, and then Tyrion is like, what the fuck was that? And that was exactly what I was thinking. And these freaking rock monsters are attacking them, and Jorah says, do not let them touch you. And so at the end of the episode, after all that fighting, Jorah gets infected. And I just thought, oh shit. There's quite a few characters who I love in Game of Thrones. Jorah is the one I feel like could probably die in Season 7. And there's this one great episode in Season 5. I believe it's, I think, halfway through Season 5, and that's where Daenerys and Tyrion are at this arena doing arena combat, and Jorah is a part of the arena combat show, and then so he beats everybody just barely, and this is within this, I guess, faith group called the Sons of the Harpies. I love this little point where it looks like Jorah looks like he's about to kill Daenerys, but you know he would not kill her. He loves her. He throws a spear and he hits a harpy, and then out of nowhere, all of these harpies stand up, and it was probably the first time this entire season where I just thought, oh, fuck. But thankfully Daenerys, wherever dragons comes and just slaughters so many of them. I believe it was either in episode 1 or episode 2 where Daenerys had caught this guy who killed somebody unlawfully. The whole city of Meereen thought this guy was innocent, but Daenerys knew that he had done wrong and that he would be given a fair trial, and he did. And there's this whole Telltale game style moment where Daenerys looks at the, her advisors and the whole city, and I just thought, god dang, I need to get back into this game. Which, by the way, guys, announcement coming at the end of this video. But basically, she chooses to kill this guy, and the whole city, or the people that are around, are just going like, and the moment I heard that, I just thought Daenerys better get the hell out of there. And I believe it was from here that this whole faith militant group, the Harpies, came out, and there was this whole city attack. Now, another character who I have to talk about right now is Jon Snow. Now, Jon Snow in this season got promoted to the commander of the Night's Watch. And there was a certain point in this season, I believe it was closer toward the end of the season, but him and the Wildlings had developed this little partnership. And and some of the Night's Watch didn't take too kind to this act. But basically what happened was that he went out to this one village where the wildlings were at, trying to get them out, and then the White Walkers come out, and there's this one guy who has the ability to raise all these White Walkers from the dead. Or raise these people from the dead to be White Walkers, what I mean. And all these White Walkers just come blazing down like World War Z style. Now, I'm not going to talk about the entire battle, but I'm going to talk about the moment I just thought, oh shit. Jon Snow is fighting, I guess, one of the White Walkers' generals for their army, I guess. So Sim had given Jon like a dragon glass dagger because supposedly that was the only thing that could kill the White Walkers. Turns out not so much. So Jon has a Valyrian steel sword, and these things are like powerful. They have a lot of damage to them, and they cut. He runs outside, and there's so many White Walkers outside, and Jon's like, no, screw this. He takes out the sword, and when we all think he's going to die, he doesn't. He blocks a hit from a White Walker, and we just thought, oh my god. So Valyrian steel can beat walkers. And so he just like, he doesn't really disarm him, but he does this, and he just like cuts the guy in half. And I just thought, that was awesome. Now, if you guys remember in Season 4, now this is early in Season 4, and I apologize for not talking about this, but this also has to do to, I think, my biggest con with Season 5. But if you guys remember in Season 4, King Joffrey died, and his brother Tommen took his place. Now, this is a guy, again, I'm going to say for the cons, because he was honestly my not so favorite part of Season 5, but I'll get to him a little bit again. Okay, now there is a real reason why I said fuck Ramsay in the beginning of this video, or in the intro of the video. Basically in Season 5, Peter Baelish gives Sansa over to Ramsay, and the moment I heard that there was a trade going on, and then Sansa says, okay, who are you giving me to? And then he says Ramsay, I just thought, oh no. No. There's this whole way that happens, and oh my god, I was horrified this entire part. Sansa gets married, and Ramsay has this big grin on his face because he was told that Sansa is a virgin. The moment I heard that someone told Ramsay this, I just thought Sansa was in grave danger. Well, not in grave danger, but in a lot of danger. Basically what happened was that Theon was escorted with Sansa and Ramsay back to Sansa's bed. And so Ramsay said, I'm gonna try and make you a woman tonight. And then basically he just turns her around, he rips off Sansa's clothes, and Theon tries to leave because Theon does not want to be there. Ramsay says, no, Rake. You are not to leave. You are to watch me do this. Ramsay bends Sansa down and he rapes Sansa. Play the clip. Fuck you! Now, if you guys remember a few seasons back, Arya Stark met this guy. I can't remember who his name is, but he's like one of the biggest badasses in the show, besides a few other badasses anyways. So she goes to this one place, and it turns out that he is a part of this, not really a cult, but this assassins called like the No One or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the place was called, but basically in Season 5, and I'd say about a few seasons into Season 6, Arya spends time trying to become a No One, which is an assassin. But anyway, she goes to this place, and she starts training, and there is this girl. I can't remember who her name is, but my god, she was a fucking bitch the whole time. I mean, she was a great character for barely saying nothing, and I like that whole rivalry between Arya and the girl. Don't worry, I'll put her name right here because I don't remember her name very well. What happened at some point was that Arya looked like that she had completed her training because she completely wrecked somebody in the city that she's in, and apparently she wasn't supposed to do that because it wasn't her kill. So the guy drinks poison or something. She takes off all these masks, and the final mask reveals to be her, and she goes blind. Now in the Season 5 finale, two major events happened. The first one I'm going to talk about happened to was Cersei. Now in the whole thing of Game of Thrones, I'm just going to say right now, Cersei has been the least likable character. Even though there have been a few times throughout the series so far, she has some redeeming qualities to her, but ultimately she's the biggest dipshit, cock-ass bitch in the entire series so far. But I'm not gonna lie, there was one certain part in season 5 where I honestly felt horrible for her. Some stupid religious thing that the High Sparrow had, or like had taken over. Basically, Cersei gets not really kidnapped, but she gets jailed by them, and the High Septa had kept beating her the entire time. And at one point, she's like, okay, fine, I confess my crimes, I did all this stuff. And then the Sparrow says, alright, you ready for the Walk of Atonement? The High Sparrow, after confessing everything, says, okay, but you got to the Walk of Atonement now. Now here's the thing right now, okay? Even though I don't like Cersei, I would not have done this to her. I mean, no, like, this is just fucking wrong, I think. Full frontal, like, everything is just on view for everybody to see, and she walks through the entire city of King's Landing. And I mean, the entire city. At this point, I was just like, you know, Cersei, you may be a bitch, or the biggest bitch ever, but right now, I wish you would kill these guys right now. Now, I know you guys have been waiting for me to talk about this one moment, because this is like the biggie moment in season 5, and that was when Jon Snow got offed. In the beginning of season 5, Jon Snow got appointed to the command of the Night's Watch. And he also had a partnership with the Wildlings, which he kept. And a few people in the Night's Watch did not take too kindly to this partnership, because the Night's Watch only accepted exiles, nobody else. The Night's Watch, they fought the Wildlings, and one person hated the Wildlings with a burning passion. Ollie, this little kid, tells Jon, come out here, please, someone needs to see you. And so Jon Snow sees a sign that says traitor, and so Jon gets like mutinied, and everybody starts stabbing him, and Ollie just stabs him right in the heart, and then BAM! Now, as I stated before, I do have one con with the show, and it's actually quite a big one. Now, I mentioned King Tommen beforewards. Now, and like I mentioned before, in season 4, Joffrey died, so Tommen was appointed as king. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Tommen was probably the most useless character the show has had. Tommen did next to nothing besides sleep with Marjorie once. Now, even though the Tommen, for me, wasn't the most compelling thing about season 5, I still really dug season 5. I definitely think it's one of the weaker seasons of Game of Thrones, but there were still awesome moments that happened, you know, in between those Tommen moments that he was in the show. There's some great plots with some great shocking moments, some great hell yeah moments, but it isn't as good as season 4, 3, 2, but I do find it better than season 1, to be honest. Season 1 is honestly, I think, the weakest season for me, so honestly, I think that season 5 is the second weakest season of the series so far. So, overall, even though I do have that con with it, I still thought that season 5 was great, so I'm gonna give season 5 a 4.5 out of 5. I still thought this was a great season, and thankfully season 6, oh my god, I cannot wait to talk about that. Alrighty guys, so I mentioned earlier that I have an announcement for you guys. Now, Telltale Games made this great Game of Thrones series that's based on the show. Now, what I'm going to do is, starting from this Sunday, after I upload my Season 6 finale review, from Sunday night till Friday night, so from July 3rd to July 8th, each night, I'm going to be live streaming the Game of Thrones Telltale Game series on my YouTube channel. Not on my Twitch, but on here. So if you want to see my live reactions to the Game of Thrones Telltale series, subscribe, because there's probably going to be some heartbreaking stuff on that game. I've only played through 2 episodes, but regardless, I'm going to restart the series so you guys can experience this with me. Alright guys, so Game of Thrones Season 5, please comment and let me know below. What was your favorite moment, or your favorite moments from Season 5 of Game of Thrones? Let me know below. If you guys enjoyed my review of Game of Thrones Season 5, please like and share this video. Click right here. And as always, until the next review, I will see you all next time.